Welcome to Bruges, Belgium's enchanting medieval gem with a history that stretches back to the 9th century. Founded as a small settlement near the North Sea coast, it blossomed into a major trading city between 12th and 15th century when its strategic location turned it into a trading powerhouse and one of the richest cities in all of Europe. With growing wealth from trade, Bruges also became the center of art and architecture, attracting master painters like Jan van Eyck, and inspiring the construction of many grand buildings that helped shape the Flemish Gothic style across the region. So in today's video, I will take you through this medieval city, show you some of the main attractions, and tell you a little bit more about its history. So stay tuned, guys, and let's go to Bruges. Now, once you come to Bruges, the first place that you probably want to visit is the Market Square, the main square in the city, built around 10th century, that has, through its rich history, witnessed many interesting events, from grand festivals to public executions. Over the centuries, the square grew into a grand plaza surrounded by iconic buildings and colorful guild houses, reflecting the city's medieval wealth and power, and as you can see, it still stands today as a testament to Bruges' medieval legacy. The highlights of the square are Belfry, the city's most iconic landmark, towering 83 meters above the square. The building was built in the 13th century as a part of the Cloth Hall, where merchants sold textiles, but was eventually turned into a watchtower, treasury, and archive, symbolizing city's independence and power. In recent years, the building was recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Site and remains open to the public as a monument with some amazing city views. And also, you probably haven't noticed, but the tower tilts around 1 meter to the side. The tilt occurred in the past as a result of multiple reconstructions of the tower that altered its weight distribution. But don't worry, the tilt is under control, so the building won't collapse anytime soon. The next building that you want to pay your attention to is the Provincial Court that you can see right behind me. It is the newest addition to the square, built in 19th century after the old building had unfortunately burned down. From that time to the early 1990s, this neo-Gothic styled building was used as a seat of provincial government of West Flanders, while today it is mostly used for ceremonial events, and other than that it is closed to the public. In the middle of the market square stands a statue of Jan Breydel and Pieter de Koning, local heroes who helped lead Bruges' resistance against French rule in the 14th century. Their legacy lives on in the Flemish pride and folklore. After saying hi to the local heroes, move to the Burg, the oldest and historically most important square in the city, located just a minute's walk away from the market square. The square was built in the 9th century by Baldwin Iron Arm to protect against Vikings' raid, and later became the seat of the city government. One of the most important buildings in the square is the City Hall that you can see right behind me. It was built in 1376, which makes it one of the oldest city halls in all of Belgium. Then there is an old Renaissance registry built in 16th century, but the building of the square that you definitely want to dedicate most of your time to is the Basilica of Holy Blood, the small but significant church that is said to house the vial of the Christ's blood, and the vial is actually on display, so you can go inside and see it yourself. Basilica may be small, but it is one of the Bruges' most sacred sites. It consists of two chapels, the upper and the lower, both built in 12th century but later remodeled to match Gothic style. And most importantly, on the inside you will find a relic said to contain the blood of Christ, brought here from the Holy Land nearly 900 years ago. Now obviously you can't film the relic, but there is a poster nearby, so you can get the idea what it looks like. Nearby, you will also find Saint Salvator's Cathedral, which is actually the oldest parish church in Bruges and dates back to 10th century. And then, in 1834, after Belgium gained independence and Bruges needed a new bishop's seat, the church was turned into a cathedral, which it stays until this very day. Once you get inside the cathedral, you will find the interior that is a blend of Romanesque and Gothic styles, with high-vaulted ceilings, massive stone columns, and a sense of vertical grandeur. But since it was converted to cathedral from a church, Saint Salvator has a slightly more sober, monumental feel compared to other, more ornate Gothic cathedrals. Despite that, the cathedral is considered a masterpiece thanks to its unique blend of styles and many tapestries and paintings that you will find on the inside. Next, take a stroll to Rosary Beads, the beautiful canal-side street among one of Bruges' most iconic waterways. The street got its name from rosary beads that were sold and made in the street back in the medieval times. The street, built between 12th and 15th century, is often regarded as the most beautiful spot in the city, and it gives you a glimpse why the Bruges is often called the Venice of the North. Next, move to Groningen Museum, because you can't visit Bruges without visiting one of its art museums. Here you will find paintings of some of the most famous Renaissance artists like Jan van Eyck, Hieronymus Bosch and Gerard David. But don't spend too much time in the museum. Take maybe 1 to 1.5 hours, as there are still many other attractions waiting to be seen. And one of those things is this Boniface Bridge, which is one of the city's most romantic spots for all of you lovebirds out there. And contrary to its looks, the bridge was actually the product of relatively modern times. It was built in 1910 and designed to match the medieval surroundings. And it also offers some of the most amazing views of the city, as you can see. You also don't want to miss the Church of Our Lady, a Gothic church built between 13th and 15th century. And what makes it so special? Well, with a height of 115 meters, it's not only the tallest structure in the city, but also one of the tallest brick structures in the whole world.
Once you get inside the church, you will find the classic Gothic interior design characterized by pointed arches, ribbed walls and slender columns. And of course, as the highlight of the church, you will find Michelangelo's masterpiece, Madonna and the Child, sculpted in 16th century. Now the interesting thing about this sculpture, except the fact that it was one of the very few Italian pieces that left Italy, is the fact that it was looted twice. First by French revolutionaries and more recently by Nazis in World War II, but both times it was returned to the church where it stands today.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning. Putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober early.
Finish your day with a visit to Halve-Maan Brewery, which is one of the most iconic breweries in the Bruges. And what's interesting about it is that it was opened in 1856, and from that time to now it was run by the same family. So it's 6 generations of same family running this brewery, and apparently here you can try some of the most iconic beers in the city, like this one that I'm drinking right here. So cheers.